man can get.
Back here on First Things First, NBA champ Antoine Walker joins the show.
Good to see you.
Boy, Antoine, we got lots of questions. Great storylines in the NBA right now. Let's start with the big showdown Sunday between the Lakers and the Sixers. I mean, it was billed as such. Turned out to be a big blowout between the two. Joel Embiid did lead the way for the Sixers with 37 points. Sixers just blowing out the Lakers 143 to 120. New addition Tobias Harris chipped in with 22 points. This is going to be a great starting five. To say Joel Embiid sees the potential on this team now would be an understatement. Take a listen.
It's only been 2 games, but I think we got a chance. We got a lot to work on. Obviously, our whole offensive package hasn't been, used. We got a long way to go. But I think the potential we have, especially come playoff time, matching up with other teams, I think we got a chance, and we got to keep working, keep getting better, and learn how to play with each other.
Oh, I think he knows they've got more than just a chance once this all locks in. Are the new-look Sixers, Antoine, looking like contenders now?
Definitely. I think that they're the second best starting lineup in the NBA behind Golden State. When you think about from top to bottom, to be able to switch multiple guys that can play multiple positions, I think it's the second best, hands down, not even close, behind Golden State. They are the best team in the East. I know it's going to take some time, but I think they are the best team in the Eastern Conference right now. Can they get to Golden State? That's going to take some time. I mean, they will have to play like they played yesterday. 33 assists, make 12 threes.
Never turn the ball over.
Play a team that plays no defense.
Yes. So it'll be a different story playing Golden State. But in the East right now, the way they're constructed, if they just, everybody's willing to be disciplined and figure it out and not fight over shots, I don't see nobody beating them in the East.
I think their own personal confidence, too, in the head-to-head, and when they played Golden State recently, that confidence and adding these new players. So they weren't even as good a team then. When they defeated Golden State in on the West Coast, and then now they're a whole new team. I do like their starting lineup. It is a lot better. And with J.J. Redick, when you have Ben Simmons at the point guard and Tobias, when you have Tobias Harris in there, you can hide J.J. Redick more. You can't hardly hide him that often, but you can hide him on the defensive end. And I just believe Tobias Harris, if utilized the right way, because I don't know what the coach. I don't know how good he's going to be, because last year in the playoff series, I was not impressed with the coach. Jimmy Butler has talked about their offense not having a type of flow to it. So how's the offense going to evolve as they go down the stretch? I like them playing at pace. And then when they do slow it down, it needs to go through Joel Embiid. If they're going to do that, I have a lot more confidence moving forward, Nick, than previously.
And Jimmy Butler and his personality can be an X factor here. And for the Sixers to reach their full potential, somebody needs to get to Jimmy Butler and say, listen, man, here's your role on this team. The last 2 minutes of the game are yours. The other 46, it's free-flowing. Embiid's going to be the focal point, but you, Ben, Tobias, and JJ, it's going to be good shot, great shot for you guys. And for Ben Simmons, good shot, layup, right? Like his shot's not a part of it. If Jimmy Butler can accept that his role is closer, his role is if a possession breaks down, you need someone who can get an isolation bucket. I know Tobias Harris can. I think Jimmy Butler's better at that, and I think that is the way to make him happy with his role. Then they are the most dangerous team in the East. Because here's the one thing about Milwaukee, and it's why I'm so interested in watching them come playoff time. When you've got 2 weeks to drill down on Giannis, when he's the only guy you have to, when you can build your entire game plan for a couple weeks about slowing him down, then in the playoffs, how much will his lack of a jump shot hurt him? And how much will it change what has been the best team in the league through 55 games, the Milwaukee Bucks? Because Philly no longer has that issue. Philly, it's not, well, if we take Ben Simmons away, like in last year's playoffs. You know what? We're going to play Ben Simmons like he's a dead duck, and what can they do? They didn't have Jimmy Butler. They didn't have Tobias Harris. They were living and dying with whether or not Bellinelli and Ilyasova were hitting shots. They're so much better equipped for that this year that I think Philly is the only team in the East that could put a real scare in Golden State. Now, I don't know that they'll get there, but if they do, they're the only one I think built that could actually scare them.
To touch on the Jimmy part, I think when you think about Jimmy Butler, I think he's humble. He didn't make the All-Star team. I think he's humble now.
Okay.
I think he's humble now. He understands that he's going to have to play a role. I think for Jimmy Butler, he's got to get back to being a defensive player. We seen him a couple years ago.
Absolutely.
Locking in. Last night, he took 10 shots. He didn't take a lot of shots. I thought he was very efficient. I thought he stayed engaged in the game. He has to get back to doing what he does well, and that's guarding. You got other guys that can score the basketball, and he is their closer.
Right.
He's the guy I want the ball in, you know, with 2 minutes to go in the game. He can make a big shot. He can put his body on somebody, get to the foul line. And then you think about with Milwaukee is different. I think you get in a 7-game series. I still don't trust Milwaukee. I know they're having a great season. Giannis can be guarded in a 7-game series because now you're going to force him to be a jump shot shooter. I mean, you watch him play now. Yeah, he's
that's the
force
concern.
And I don't know if they address that issue and adding enough 3-point shooters around Giannis moving forward when you get in the playoffs. But they're having a great season. But I think Jimmy Butler's going to be humble. Now, I mean, I think, you know, he didn't make the Victor Oladipo was hurt, and he still didn't get voted in.
Right.
You know, so he's probably humbled now. He's probably started thinking about his contract. He went from a max player. I don't think he's a max player anymore. He's a guy probably now looking at a little under the max. He's probably not going to get the max money that he thought he was going to get in the free agent market unless the Knicks or Brooklyn, somebody panics. You know, and sign him to big money, but I think he's humble.
If you listen to what Joel Embiid said, he keeps mentioning if we can make this work, if we can get us, we can on the same page, if we can all play together. Your brother was a coach, you were a player. When you're inside an NBA locker room, there aren't that many guys. Is it more on the players to figure out how to gel, or is it the coach that's going to step in and say, okay, this is our team going down the stretch. Like, we have to figure it out. Where does that land?
I can only take you back to 06 when we played, and you had a bunch of personalities in there. One thing that was great about us, we necessarily had a great season. Chris, you was down and we played. We didn't have the best season. I think we won like 52 games.
Talking about in Miami.
In Miami, yeah. So we won by like 52 games, but we had a great locker room. We had this slogan called 15 Strong, where we would just put these cards in there. And we was together as a team. And people may not think this matters, but off the court, us being together tight made for better play come playoff time. And the whole goal was to win an NBA title. So I don't know if that's their goal.
Absolutely. That's a great point there. You are right. That Miami team, they did gel. And when you have players, Tobias Harris looking for a contract, this is the first time. He's been on 5 teams. This is the first time an NBA team said, you know something, you're part of our future. And you could see that in his few games. He is plenty comfortable. He's the second best scorer that they have out there on the court. Jimmy Butler, he was a max player. He's been an all-star. All these things, is he willing to sacrifice coming down the stretch? And Ben Simmons, what is his game in the playoff? If y'all think they can play Giannis, how y'all think they're going to be able to guard Ben? I mean, so I just, how they're going to have to play, there's a lot of sacrifice from the coaching staff and from the players. But these star players, especially Tobias and Jimmy Butler, they're looking for a new contract. Well, so winning to them, is it first? Winning was first priority for all 15 of those players.
No question.
Will it be first for the Sixers? That's a huge question.
And that is the only question. The only reason they wouldn't make it out of the East with as good as Milwaukee's been, or at the very least be in the Eastern Conference Finals in a slugfest with Milwaukee, is if, to quote Pat Riley, the disease of more gets to them. Is if they don't, this would be the perfect NBA 2K team because there ain't no egos. Everyone knows their role. JJ knows when he's going to get his shots. Jimmy knows what he's supposed to do. Tobias, all those guys. But if all of a sudden Joel feels like, man, I'm not getting featured enough, or Ben feels like, man, just being a facilitator, rebounder, defender, I want to show I'm more than that, or Jimmy worries about getting the max, or Tobias worries they said they're going to give me the max, but if I was averaging 21, now I'm down to 14. We know JJ's happy to be there and is very comfortable in his role, knows exactly what that role is. But if they can take a page out of Golden State's book, which has been, man, the numbers don't matter, the wins do. We all get paid, we all eat if we win a championship at the end, then this will be the second best team in basketball. But this also could be a team that gets down 2-1 in the second round, and you hear one of their star players gripe at the other one, you say, man, what a disappointing run for Philly. It's all about the personalities because the talent is undeniable at this point.
Because you see what's happening in Boston right now, which is what they're hoping doesn't happen in Philly. Antoine, stick around. Coming up, could Paul George be playing his way into the MVP conversation? Next on First Things First.